Hello, good afternoon. Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey here. Had to refresh my screen. YouTube has been very funky with me the last several weeks. I hope you're well. I am well. I like to talk about how I have lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. I'm going to jump right on in and go with the topic as is in the title. How much should we weigh? This is I think probably if you're hearing my voice, you probably know how much you want to weigh. And then the question becomes, how did you arrive at that number? For me, let me just say, I don't share how much I weigh. I will tell you just about anything else you want to know about me. I don't share what I weigh. I never have. And it's a throwback to, it's just a throwback to being, I don't share what I weigh. I can tell you that I weigh less than I ever dreamed I would. For those of you who don't know my story, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s, I was perfectly round. I was actually spherical. More than one person in my life, my father and a woman with whom I worked, when someone would say, "Is Casey around?" They both independently said, "Any rounder," and she'd roll, which was not very kind. But anyway, I had given up on losing weight. I did not want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I knew I was on deck for that. I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I came across Dr. Eric Westman's white coat video, changed my life. That was January 8th, 2014, and I've never looked back. So when, as I started to lose weight, I did not do this for weight loss. I'd given up on weight loss, thrown in the towel. I started to think, wow, this is pretty cool. If I can get to this weight, that would be amazing. And then I got to that weight. And so if I get to that weight, that'd be unbelievably fantastic. And got to that weight. There was a number in my head that I said, if I got to that weight, I could declare victory. I'm below that weight. But I didn't have it based on anything other than some memory of some point in my life that I felt okay at that weight. And it's when I got, started things going over, then I didn't feel so okay about myself. So how do we determine what we should weigh? Many people will look at a chart, an app. Unfortunately, some insurance actuarial tables will tell you what your insurance rate will be based on your BMI or your height to weight ratio. But here's the thing. What if we don't get to that weight? Are we a failure? So the question came up over the last several days in my private Patreon group. And by the way, if you like public content, thank a patron. About what the scale reflects. What should we weigh? I'm trying to get to my goal weight. I'm X number of pounds away from it. So the question is, how did you arrive at that goal weight? Oh, well, that's what I weighed when I got married, or that's what I weighed before I had my first child, or that's what I weighed that day that somebody told me I looked really good. So that may not be the logical weight you should be. You might want to do that, but it may not be realistic. Let's face it. There's not much about our lives that is the same when we were 18, 19, 20, mid-20s. I mean, we just very little about our bodies that are the same. I mean, if you are in your mid-20s, enjoy it. Enjoy your body anyway. Even if it's not the shape you want, hopefully you feel good. So this leads to the next question. Okay, so why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to lose weight because I want to get to this weight. I want to lose to this weight. I want the scale to read X. Okay, why do you want to do that? Well, because I want to look better. Okay, good enough reason. Is that all? You want to feel like you look better? No, I want to feel better. Okay, so you want to feel better. Why do you want to feel better? So that I can enjoy my life more? I mean, someone, if I was asking these questions, they'd look at me like I had monkeys on my face because I want to enjoy my life. You might have picked up, we're trying to get to the why of the matter. Why are you trying to make a change? What is ultimately your reason? Is it so you can look cute in a bikini? I'm pretty cute. I'm not getting into a bikini for love nor money. The ship has sailed on the bikini days for Casey Durango. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But if your reason is I want to feel better, I want to re-enter my life, I want my body to carry me through the world without pain, and so that I can enjoy the activities that I want to enjoy, whether it's horseback riding, being able to get make chalk figures on the driveway with your grandkids and be able to get back up off the ground, whether it's to get on a bicycle or to start to mountain climb again, whether it's to feel better about yourself so you can apply for a job that you never thought you would get, if it's so you can do cartwheels, if it's so you can come off of medication, if it is so you don't have to take a nap in the afternoon, if it's so that you can start to feel human again, like you are a part of humanity and not a lump and a waste of space, which, let's face it, that's the message many of us have been given. If we're overweight, coupled with if you're overweight female particularly, but this goes for males as well. If you are an overweight person over a certain age, hang it up. Because if you haven't lost weight by now, you're not going to. What a terrible message to send to anyone. How dare anyone tell somebody else it's too late for you? Well, it does depend on the circumstance. It is too late for me to be a 25-year-old. That's okay. And I'm not slamming on the 25-year-olds. I have 3 children. The youngest is now 30, but they were all 25 at one point. Love them. So if you're asking yourself the why, all these things, the medications, the applying for the job, doing the cartwheels, horseback riding, mountain climbing, getting on the driveway with your grandchild and guess what is not mentioned in any of that? How much you weigh. If you want to lose weight, great. If you want to lose weight to fit in a size 6 jeans, okay. But what does wearing a size 6 jean do for you ultimately? There are probably plenty of people who wear a size 6 jean right now who are not very healthy, who have high blood pressure, high blood glucose, high triglycerides, low HDL. They are what we call thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So the size 6 jeans don't make you healthy. You know what makes you healthy? Eating the fuel that you were designed to eat. So for those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and have practiced it, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Will be a link, if it's not already, a link to page 4 below. Dr. Westman's copyrighted page, legitimate page 4. There are a lot of bootleg copies out there that are incorrect. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Those last 2 parts are the absolute most difficult part. The food is easy. You don't even need a food list. Eat fatty sources of protein, about a cup a day of non-starchy vegetables pre-cooked, before they're cooked, about a cup, and about 2 cups of leafy greens a day maximum. These are maximums. Vegetables are not required, nor are they unlimited, nor are there minimum amounts. Since they're not required, clearly there's not a minimum amount. Minimum amount. Full fat dairy, if you can tolerate it, not unlimited. That's the protocol. You do that, and wonderful things start to happen. You start burning fat for fuel. So lay off the carbs, by the way, it's not the presence of the fat that matters. This is not a high fat diet in that you're not adding extra fat. You're just not avoiding fat. It's the absence of the carbs that matter. You do not have to pound back fat. I'm going to listen to the protocol again, as I learned it from the world expert on the clinical implementation of this protocol. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. You'll note that there's no mention of grams of fat or grams of protein. Also, there's no mention of how much you weigh. There's no mention of how many calories to consume based on your weight. Now, we don't count calories with this because it's kind of self-regulating if you follow the protocol. We don't count calories. Ultimately, our fuel intake in regards to our energy requirements matter, but you just don't have to worry about it if you follow the protocol. One of the first signs that things are going well is you lose your appetite. Not just hunger, but appetite. And that happens pretty quickly if you follow the protocol strictly. But getting back to how much should we weigh? Don't know. Because does it matter? If the reason for losing weight is to feel better, be pain-free, have more energy, be able to participate in our lives the way we used to, what you weigh is not part of that equation. So don't be confounded by an arbitrary number that some of us just pull out of the air. Back in my former career, we called that PFA. Pull it from the air. Pull out a number from the air or from an app or from a chart. Don't let an app tell you how much to eat, and don't let an app tell you how much to weigh. Our end game here is for our bodies, whatever they weigh, to be healthy and strong and provide us with the life we want. The thing is not for us to squeeze our humanity into a size. If you're happy and healthy and full of, as they used to say, vim and vigor, whatever you weigh doesn't matter. So what should we weigh? We should weigh what we weigh when we are happy and healthy and mobile and productive. When we have a positive outlook because we're not having spikes of insulin shooting up and down because we've been eating eating carbs, which the glucose has to be regulated with the insulin. It's a mess. That's what we should weigh. I truly, to my soul, believe that what the scale reads should be about the 6th, 7th, 8th list of victories. But we are focused on scales like nothing, like nobody's business, because we've been conditioned to that. What you weigh? What do you weigh? What do you weigh? How much weight did you lose? How fast did you lose the weight? How long did it take you, I was asked, to lose the 97.4 pounds? 3 years. I was thrilled. I was a normal loser. I'm 5'1", 100 pounds on a 5'1" frame is a lot of fat. I lost 47 pounds the first year. That's on average less than a pound a week. I was so happy. It took 2 years to lose the remaining 50 pounds. I was thrilled. So let's stop perseverating over what the scale reads and what we want to weigh. What we weigh is not a reflection of how happy we are. Well, if you're unhappy with what the scale reads, then it's probably that you're unhappy with the way you feel. I feel pretty good. The scale fluctuates a little bit, but I've been essentially weight stable for 3 years. After I lost the first 40 pounds, I would come downstairs in the morning and tell my husband, I don't care if I don't lose another pound. I will never change. I feel so much better because I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. That was my goal. The rest was, you should pardon the expression, gravy. So no, I don't take insulin for type 2 diabetes. My average blood glucose, as I take with my Keto Mojo glucometer is 72. Now, by the way, Keto Mojo, I used a Precision Extra for the first 2, 3, 4 years. I've been doing this for 6.5 years, doing the ketogenic protocol, not Go Keto with Casey, for 6.5 years. It was just expensive to replace the strips. So Keto Mojo, the strips are much more affordable. Shameless Commerce Division comment coming. If you go to my blog, link below, and on the sidebar, and you click on the Keto Mojo link, I think you get 15% off with your first kit. But I really do like it. It's a better, in my opinion, it's a better device. What was I saying? Oh, so my blood glucose is like 72 on average. My A1C last time it was measured, I think was 4.6. Blood pressure, stellar, perfect. I'm just great all the way around. So that has nothing to do with how much I weigh. I mean, my contentment, and I am content. Words I thought I would say never. I am content and happy with myself. Let that sink in. I was a miserable person. I'm a kind and positive person for the most part, but I had lost some of that positivity. I was an optimist, and over the years, it just I pounded out of myself. I didn't become a pessimist. It's just so much I was just not interested in my own life anymore. I was chronically depressed. Not every day, but anyone who's experienced depression knows it doesn't have to be every day for it to be awful. Depression is insidious, and it's not having the blues. And please, pro tip, if you are talking to someone who has depression, please don't tell them to just cheer up, that life is good. That does not help. Depression is insidious. Anyway, I don't have that anymore. I'm not saying that works for everyone. That has been my experience. And I do chalk it up to my regulated blood sugar and so regulated insulin response. That's my understanding. So to wrap this up for the segment before I turn to questions and comments, what should we weigh? We should weigh what we weigh when we feel good. That's it. That's it. In my opinion. I am not a doctor. But I am a former fatty who experienced a lot of stuff. And I am like you. I am you. I am not a special snowflake. I am not any kind of superhero. I am not a special person. I am probably like the vast majority of people in Western culture, not just of my age or my era. If I can do this, you can do this, and it's never too late, ever. And it's never too early. Never too early. How many of us have been fixated on our body size, our image, or the feeling that we were fat since we were 10 or 12 years old? How many of us, when we were pretty cute and trim, still felt like we were fat because there was so much focus on that? That's okay. That was then. This is now. Julie Cooper writes, I'm just going to jump on in. Julie Cooper writes, I just started keto and was weighing every day. I would lose 3 pounds and then gain 2. I just wanted to know that this would work for me. I have now lost 6 pounds and see that it will work. Thank you, Casey. Congratulations, Julie. Here's my recommendation. It sounds like you got this under control, Julie. Some people should not weigh. I weigh every day. I have weighed myself every day since December 18th, 2000, way before keto. When I'm 115 and a half pounds off of my heaviest weight that I know of, because that day, December 18th, 2000, was the first time I'd gotten on a scale in a long time. So I might have been heavier even. And I just decided I'll get data and I'll log everything. I have this massive spreadsheet that has been logged weight and everything else you can think of for all these nearly 20 years. And it was miserable until I started keto. Then it became very empowering. But I'm okay with the data. if the scale should just be a tool. If you get on the scale and it upsets you and it does not inform your decision-making process, don't get on the scale. Frankly, most of us already know. I can do this. I can do this now. Now, by the way, I used to not be able to reach my hands around my wrist. That would be a big gap, but now I can overlap them. I can tell in the morning to within about 1 or 2 tenths of a pound what the scale is going to read. Many of us know. If it informs your decision-making process and it motivates you, either, it went up, so now it motivates me to be more cognizant, or it went down and it motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing, great. But a lot of people should just put the scale away. Your clothes will tell you. Your mood will tell you. Your energy level will tell you. Your appetite will tell you. Val writes, yeah, I'm battling depression. Depression is awful. And it's difficult for the people experiencing it. It's awful for the people who love us, who can't do anything for us. But I will tell you, some cognitive therapy, Val, you've been here before. If you've had like chronic depression that, comes and goes, you know that you've been here before. Your brain is lying to you when it tells you how miserable you are, that you don't deserve to be here, whatever your brain is telling you. And you got through it. Just remember it'll happen again. But also try to lay off the carbs. Some people have come off of anti-anxiety meds, anti-depression meds, antipsychotic meds. Now, that's not everybody. But all it is food, and you have nothing to lose other than maybe some depression. Lita writes, for decades, the scale used to make or break my day. How crazy is that? I'm right there with you. It's crazy. So, Allie Mo writes, Casey, it's been over a year since I've watched you. You still look great. Oh, thank you. Have you reached your goal weight? I don't have a goal weight. I would like to lose 2.6 more pounds so that I try to be accurate, so that I can say I've lost 100 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol. But I'm below where I ever imagined. After 30 years of morbid obesity, I'm below that. And I'm happy. That's just vanity. I should probably quote my stuff in kilograms. That way it won't have any emotional thing for me. And I can say however many kilograms that is. Somebody, I'm sure, will tell me. Gina Bishop writes, everyone around me says I look fine right now. I'm trying for about 7 more after 110 off. This is good. This is good food for thought. They might be right. Yes, honey. An arbitrary, think about where those numbers on the apps and the chart and the actuarial tables came from. Somebody made that crap up. Okay? Somebody did, for probably insurance purposes, to be really blunt. I'm 62. I'm the height I am. I'm the gender I am. You could probably get a whole bunch of people born on the same day I was, female, and stack us next to each other, and we could all weigh the same and look totally different. I tend to lay on lean mass fairly easily. It's just how I'm wired. I still have body fat to lose. I'm good. So muscle does not weigh more than fat. They both weigh what they weigh. A pound of fat and a pound of muscle both weigh a pound. But muscle takes up less space. It's more dense. So if you have someone who is my height, my gender, exactly my age, and has very little muscle mass, they may appear thicker than I. Someone who has much more muscle mass may appear much trimmer than I. We all weigh the same. It just depends on how you feel. And yes, absolutely, let those last 7 pounds go if you want. It could be fun. Look at it this way. Tell yourself you've reached your goal because you feel good and you look great. And then if you lose a couple more pounds, it's, wow, I'm below my goal. Hey, Kathy Fair. I think some of us need the carrot, not a good low carb, by the way. You talking about for the scale? Some do. So if you're motivated, that's great. Hey, Vita. Hello, beautiful keto friends. I have strumbled, but I'm finding my saving grace is putting my scale away and remembering that even on my worst day, I'm so far from where I came. Here's a great thing. It's actually a patron came up with this. And for those of you who don't know, Patreon, I have a Patreon private group. It's 15 seconds to talk about it. It's closed. It's depending on your pledge level, you get 20, at a minimum, 20 videos from me a month. Every weekday I do a video without makeup, pillow hair, without coffee. It's grim sometimes. And the suggestions often come from the patrons because I have a spreadsheet set up for that. Okay, so 20 videos a month, about half a dozen patron-only live streams on Crowdcast a month, about half a dozen patron-only video group sessions on Zoom a month, and one-on-ones with me a month, depending on your level. There, that's it. Oh, and access to a private hidden Facebook group for patrons only. But a patron came up with something, and Vita, I'm glad you said this. You're so far from where you came. Sometimes if we strumble, and strumble was a word mashup that I said one morning before coffee to patrons. I was trying to say struggle and stumble, and it came out strumble. And then we have to dust ourselves off. But sometimes we tell ourselves, I've got to start over. No. This patron told me, said, I decided to look at it as picking up where I left off. Isn't that better? Isn't that a lot better? It's like if you're I did triathlons one year, summer of the triathlon. I was so hungry all the time, and I barely lost any weight, and everything hurt. But anyway, so if I'm on the bicycle part, it was very difficult for me because the hills were very steep, and I was 100 pounds heavier. What if I was doing the bicycle and I oh my gosh, I can't make it up this hill, and I just had to get off and catch my breath? Well, I wouldn't go back to the beginning and start again on that bicycle thing. I would pick up where I left off, catch my breath, and get back on the bike. So Vita, also a patron, you're catching your breath. It's been a tough time for a lot of people. Hey, Live Chill Life. And if you'll see, her little thing looks a little different, and she has a coffee cup. She's a member of the Go Keto with Casey Club on YouTube. I'm more focused on going down a couple of sizes. I feel like I need some kind of number to gauge progress and to work towards. And I think clothing is a really good way to do it. When I was coming down, I started out at 24W jeans at Costco. It's a girl's name. I can't think of it. Alexa or something. It's Gloria Vanderbilt with spandex in them. And so when I started losing weight, I got small, and so I'd grab the next smaller pair. Then about halfway through, I started buying 2 pairs of jeans. The one that would be I could tell because I was having to hitch up my drawers. I'd get the next size down, then the next size after that, because I became confident that I was going to get to the next size lower. So they became aspirational for me. And it was a thrill every time I could pull those jeans up and then the next size. I remember, how happy I was when I bought a pair of jeans that didn't have a W after the number. It's like 24W for women's. They should just write it for what it is, 24F for fat. Anyway, I was really tickled. Jenny Suter writes, 80 feels great on keto. Have lost 40 pounds. Jenny, you're 80 years old? Is that what you're saying? Okay, nobody needs to be saying it's too late, right? I can't do this. I had a patron video group session right before this. And one of the patrons was saying that people around her saw that she was losing weight. What are you doing? And she would say, I'm doing keto. And I'm just checking to make sure it's not my husband. He's flying today. It's not my husband. They'd say, oh, well, I can't do that because, and then people just list off the reasons that they can't do it. Everything from gallbladder to hysterectomy to postmenopausal to I'm too old to hypothyroid, hyperthyroid, Hashimoto's hypothyroid, thyroiditis, no thyroid, you name it. So I love to hear the stories of people who must be confounding much of the medical community. Nancy B writes, been helping my 88-year-old mom with, I'm going to try to get back up for that one. I can't scroll back up. Oh, shoot. Oh, yes. Been helping my 88-year-old mom with physical therapy. The exercises have been good for me too. Laura Decker writes, Maryness, I'm feeling inspired. Message I got from this video is that weight and age are just a stupid number. Hallelujah. K-Kid 1108, can you recommend best magnesium to buy? We get, I don't have a thing to show you, Mag 64. You don't have to supplement, if you don't have any symptoms, if you don't have fatigue or pins and needles, headache, if you're not feeling quite right, it can be magnesium often. If you don't have symptoms, you don't have to supplement. But I am prone to muscle cramps. I always have been. It just was exacerbated once I started keto because there's so much fluid, water that goes through the kidneys, and they take all kinds of minerals with them. We use Mag 64. We buy the 5-pack at a time. I think I have them listed on my blog as well, the link that gets you the 5-pack, which is the most economical way. That is the generic formulation for slow mag. It's magnesium chloride. It's 64 milligrams per pill. I take 3 a day at the same time. I don't space them out. I take them in the morning. Hey, Mona Tufan. How are you doing? Hi from Istanbul. Here, there is a beautiful summer day. Diane Gruber, thank you for the super chat. She writes, I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Jenny Suter writes, I have Hashimoto's. Keto has greatly helped, but not cured. It can't fix everything, right? Like I like to say, I'm still really short. Oh no, Shantae Copeland writes, Casey, I broke my green Go Keto with Casey cup. Do you have any more? I have just a couple more left, actually. She's talking about I think I have it in here. Oh, well. Oh, it's back here. You know, tour of my cupboard. Talking about this. These were really popular. At first, I didn't like them because I thought, well, that just looks like a fat cup. No, I don't be fat anymore. Anyway, on my blog, yes. You can find it there under swag. Val writes, I've started taking chelated slow magnesium at night and getting better sleep. Dr. Westman recommends milk of magnesia, a teaspoon at night. And I actually bought some. I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's an old wives' tale that milk of magnesia makes an excellent face mask. I don't know. Kim Granny Goodhag finally off plateau. Been losing half a day. By the way, oh dear, did I hit something? Speaking of plateaus, my friend Amy Berger, and I don't know if Amy's in the house today. Sometimes she shows up. She wrote The Stall Slayer. It's an ebook, and there's a link to it right now. She's so smart. She's so smart. I just say, if you want to break a stall, you just need to eat less food. But she goes into more detail. Ketogenic. An Epsom salt bath at night can also help with leg cramps. Absolutely can. And I take them. Do that occasionally. Our skin is our largest organ. And the Epsom salt, the minerals, can be absorbed directly through the skin. It's a very gentle way to get it. Plus, it's soothing. You light a candle. You listen to a nice podcast. Live Life Chill writes, the magnesium spray oil on the top of my feet knocks me out like a tranquilizer at night. It's also great for muscle aches. That's great to know. Michelle, hi, Jen. Michelle, I was going to text you. You've been incognito for a while. That's not the right word. I've not heard from you, and I wanted to follow up, make sure everything's okay. Bumit Rohaj, can I take testosterone with HGA to help? I cannot answer that. I have no idea. I am not an expert on such things. And a couple of people are talking to each other. They are patrons, and we have actually, met each other IRL. We were all going to be on the Go Keto with Casey cruise, the late great Go Keto with Casey cruise to Alaska in July, but obviously we had to cancel that. Marinus writes, thank you so much for the positive pep talks. And Jenny Suter writes, yes, I'm 80. Congratulations. It's fantastic, honestly, to think about it. And many of you know, you've heard the messages that I've heard and read. They were explicit that once you get to middle age, it's almost impossible to lose weight or feel better. And it's downhill from here, and you're no spring chicken. And yeah, that's what it's like when you get older. I feel better at 62, honest and true. Physically better. I don't hurt the way I did. I'm certainly mentally better than when I was 32. And I'm just a lot smarter than I was at 22. I was pretty smart, but I was an idiot. So now, as I said earlier today, now I'm fit and wise. Mary Paymard writes, thank you, Casey. You are a motivator. Writes motivator. I assume you mean motivator. Wanting to be a patron, having problems getting in. I can't help with that, but you can try to message me later. It should just be a link to it. And it's patreon.com/Go Keto with Casey. Heather, hey, Heather. I refuse to tell my husband how much I weigh when he asked me yesterday. He thinks I'm getting too skinny. Well, too bad. I feel awesome. Isn't that funny when people start, friends, oh, you're losing too much weight, or they think God forbid that you're undergoing cancer treatment. Where were they when, worried about you? Not you, but where were they being worried about us when we were 100 pounds overweight? No, they partied along with us, and we'd sit around tables and divvy up the death by chocolate cake and have a good time. And yes, let's get the extra large fries. Susie Huckbell writes, hi, Casey. And Shell writes, I like Motor-Gator. Does anyone have any questions specifically for me? Not that I hold all the answers. The only thing I can speak about expertly is my experience. And Veronica Calderon writes, hi, Casey. Veronica from Floresville, Texas. Shell writes, thank you for your words today. Casey, thank you. Any questions? You may ask me anything. I will answer almost anything. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. And I might have already done it. I'm sorry if I'm double posting this. Wednesday Wine Day with Amy Berger and me. Once a month, third Wednesdays of the month. This is a registered event. It's on Crowdcast, which is a really good platform. You can ask questions in advance. It's at 8:30 p.m. Let's see if I can do this. It's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and there's no agenda. Amy and I just really like each other. We enjoy each other's company, and we decided to do this, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Laura asks, what do I do for exercise? I really just recently got the Total Gym out of the closet where it has lived for like 3 years. And I've been pretty consistently doing that, not for weight loss. As a matter of fact, I expect and may experience weight gain because of the dents and the taking up. But I'm doing it because exercise is a really good, pushing yourself is a really good thing mentally anyway. But as a female and of my age, I want to do my best to ensure bone density, plus core strength. And you feel good. It feels good. So I just have not even a very expensive one. I have a Total Gym, and it's a really good tool. I like it. So I will spend about 4 minutes per muscle group and do 5 exercises per muscle group. So I'll bet 4 minutes for each exercise. So it's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. I take the weekends off. Hey, Elisa Chandler. Hey, Casey from Winston-Salem, which is right down the road from where I am. Question, do you intermittent fast or fast at all? Did you fast while losing? Thank you. You must not have heard too many of my little presentations. No, I don't. I did experiment with fasting. I think I did a video or 2 about it. My husband was out of the country for a month. And, it was just, our kids are all up and gone. So I said, I'm just going to see what this is all about. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And so I didn't eat for a day, 2 days maybe. No, I didn't eat for a day. It was okay. What I found was all I did was start thinking about food. And I didn't want to do that. For the same reason, I don't practice time restricted eating, which actually I believe is the more proper way to call the so-called intermittent fasting. It is because I'm going to eat when I'm hungry. I'm not going to eat if I'm not hungry, no matter what the clock says. So no, I didn't. I experimented, but it was not logical to me. I don't practice time restricted peeing either. I urinate when I need to. My body tells me what it needs. But thank you for the question. Okay, Susan Huckbill says, yes, I have a question. Fire away, Susan. Alyssa writes, yes, I'm new to your site. It's a good question. It's a very popular thing. Okay, that's okay. One of these days, I'm going to ask maybe either Michelle or Jen in Minnesota to be an admin, and I see you. I will not only ignore you, go yell upstairs to your mama, because I'm sure you're in her basement, and ask her for some attention. Smart TV. And not so smart. Snow White writes, Val, my functional doctor recommended it for me each day. Can you repeat the mantra? Yes. I assume you mean this one. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. That's it. Susie writes, I need to hear it in your voice and in your no-nonsense way. Wow, the lighting has changed. Sun went behind a cloud. Bhumit writes, have you ever visited India? No, I have not, sir. I've not even visited my husband's home country of Colombia, South America. We were going to be doing that this year. We don't know whether that's going to be happening for our 40th wedding anniversary, as a matter of fact. That's something. Talk about doing the opposite. They said it would never last. I'm going to wind up here unless anyone has a question for me. And I appreciate, again, you allowing me to be part of your day. This is not complicated. There is not one product you need to buy, not even a green mug, to be 100% successful on this. You don't need special foods. It's the food we eat. You just lay off the carbs. Poultry, beef, pork, lamb, seafood, fish, eggs, bacon, sausage, ground beef. It doesn't have to be expensive to do this either. You could do this eating nothing but ground beef on sale, and you're going to get a bunch of nutrition. Beef liver, calf's liver, chicken liver. It does not have to be expensive. Eat the fat that comes with the protein. If you want some vegetables, you may eat them, non-starchy vegetables. A cup a day max. This is before cooked. So here's the, listen to this. You say, oh, the cauliflower crust pizza. Huzzah. Okay, so if we're supposed to be limiting our cauliflower intake to a cup maximum per day before it's cooked, how much of the piece of that crust do you think 1 cup of cauliflower translates into? Not much. We have to be careful with products, well-meaning perhaps, that are made to replace foods that we don't have to replace. Just broil up the toppings from the pizza and leave the crust off altogether. Eat it with a fork. Oh, well, thank you, Laura. Val writes, I've switched to chicken crust pizza or pork pinko. Go meat and butter. There are people to do that. Oh, wow. Cindy McMurrin writes, I've been following you since 2016-ish. You've helped me lose 73 pounds. Congratulations. Okay. Bumit writes, you're very nice. I don't know if these are sincere questions. You look 28. What's your age? I'm 62, but thank you very much for the compliment. But no, my youngest child is 30. So there's that. Thanks. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Total, not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. If I can do this, you can do this. And leave off all the the keto products. They're just not worth it. And they're probably not going to help. Okay, thank you so much. Everyone, stay safe, be kind. Spread good vibes to the universe. We need it. We need it all the time. We really need it now. Ciao for now.